Hello everyone, I am the horror hack John Mason. First and foremost, thanks so much for coming and watching this video. I hope at any point you give it a like and subscribe to my channel simply by hitting the subscribe button at the bottom right hand corner of this video. Today we're going to be talking about Midsommar. I think it's Midsommar. It's a folk horror movie written and directed by Ari Aster. Ari Aster also wrote and directed the psychological horror drama Hereditary back in 2018. If you've seen Ari Aster's work before, like in Hereditary, you kind of know what you're getting into before you watch Midsommar as far as pacing and theme goes. If you haven't seen Hereditary and kind of went in blind to this film, I'd really like to know what you thought because this is definitely not for everyone. So the storyline goes something like this. Danny, played by Florence Pugh, tags along with her boyfriend Christian and his 5 friends as they're going to a festival in Sweden called Midsommar that only happens every 90 years. Once they get there, they're in awe of this beauty, this beautiful landscape, and this small community of people, and they start partaking in the festivities and rituals that they have at Midsommar. They find out pretty quickly that this community, or cult I should say, is anything but the norm after they witness their first ritual that is pretty gruesome and horrible to watch. Now with alarm bells going off in their heads, they still have to play along with these midsummer activities and watch the rituals. Do they escape this pagan cult? Do they all die? You'll have to watch and see. So let's talk characters. Danny. I love the character of Danny in this film played by Florence Pugh. She's a character that we start empathizing with right away. She's like a poor beaten puppy that leans on others to hold herself up. She not only suffers from anxiety, has a douchebag boyfriend, but also there's a major tragedy that happens to her at the beginning of the film. And she has a great character arc. You really notice a difference in her from the beginning of the film to the end. Christian was a big flake to his girlfriend Danny, kept stringing her along, giving her just enough attention so that she'd stay with him. You can tell he wants out of the relationship, but he doesn't have the guts to end it. And there were a couple filler characters that didn't mean too much in this film to me, but I think overall everyone did a really good job. I enjoyed the character of Mark, played by Will Poulter. He was the clueless, inappropriate friend who came along to do drugs and get laid. He had some pretty good lines and acted as the comic relief that we all desperately needed in this film. Okay, let's talk cinematography, my favorite part of the film. There was a great use of contrast at the beginning of the film to the time that they arrive at Midsommar. It was like 2 completely different worlds stylistically. The beginning utilized shadows, darkness, little hints of red that really complemented the dread of what was going on at the time. In some scenes, you couldn't even see the characters' faces because the shadows were so great. Once they all got to Midsommar, the color palette changed into this great, bright landscape and countryside. There's this constant glow like a beautiful Snapchat filter. The sun never goes down in the film either. Yep, a horror movie in the bright and shiny sun. In the Midsommar world, they used very non-threatening colors like yellow, green, soothing blue, and all the locals were in bright white, which was very strange for a community that lived and worked outside. There was not one speck of dirt on their clothes. It was like bleached white clothes. I'm not spoiling anything here, but there's just a great scene when they're driving to the community in Sweden. And there's a moment when the camera turns upside down while they're driving. So it's almost like you are flipped upside down driving down a road, making you feel sort of nauseous and dizzy. And once they get to their destination of Midsommar, the camera turns right side up again. And that feeling of nausea and dizziness that you just had is a great setup to what's to come. There were some beautiful drone shots from above showcasing this gorgeous land. Also, Ari Aster used some long one-shot takes. There didn't seem to be a lot of cuts and shot reverse shot dialogue type of scenes. Alright, let's talk about themes. I noticed a theme of unity and symmetry in this film. For example, when everyone was outside eating at the dinner table, every single plate, fork, napkin, glass was perfectly aligned. Everyone would also start eating in unison as well. That's creepy. The locals at the commune were always in clusters, in packs, doing things together. Again, unity. The locals would also imitate a person's sounds and mannerisms together. Creepy. Alright, let's get to what I liked about Midsommar. I've seen some psychologically disturbing films in my day, but this movie, Midsommar, I think is one of the best I've seen in most recent years. And I know, that's a bold statement because I haven't seen them all. But in the vein of psychological horror, I would say that Midsommar is one of the best in modern day. I loved how Midsommar was creative with their graphic content. It's not the typical death you would see in a film, and when you go see it, you're going to know what I'm talking about. I also liked how the film made me feel emotionally. And that doesn't mean that I went out of the theater all bright and shiny and high-fiving people. The film just did such a great job at making me feel uneasy and playing with my emotions, and at the end of it thinking, what the hell did I just watch for 2.5 hours? When I watched this in the theater, you couldn't hear the crunch of popcorn in people's mouths, the rustling of candy wrappers, the slurping of soda. It was completely quiet. Everyone was glued in. After the film was done, I looked around to see what people's reactions were because I was like, Hey, excuse me, sir. Do you know what day it is? Yeah, Mom. Can you come pick me up? All right, and let's get into what I didn't like about Midsommar. I wanted to learn more about Midsommar and its 9 days of feasting and rituals. There are some explanations in the film of what they're doing and what these rituals are, but they don't really completely pull back the curtain on everything. That could be one sinister part of it, the unknown mystery of what Midsommar really is. And my final thoughts of the film. If you're looking for a cookie-cutter Hollywood horror film that's fun to watch with beers and laughs, then I don't think this one's for you. If you want to get lost in a sinister nightmare on a bad mushroom trip in broad daylight, then this film may be for you. But trust me, don't be scared. It's a trip that you're going to want to make. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Midsommar's like, that's cute. Hold my beer. And that's it. Thanks so much for watching my review of Midsommar. Tell me what you thought about this video and the film in the comments, and give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Horror Hack. And before I get out of here, I just wanted to give a shout out to Girly Gore. You can find her on Twitter at Girly Gore Horror. She has an awesome YouTube channel that you should check out. Horror movie reviews, really fun one-off series. You would really enjoy it. So I hope you go to her channel and subscribe. I'll put her channel link in the description of this video. And check out my t-shirt, people. All the way. So it's a pretty cool t-shirt. You can probably pick one up, I think, at her store. I will link to that as well in the description. Thanks again, everyone. I am The Horror Hack, and this has been one hack of a show.